If there's a Ford in need, you better believe I'm the man indeed. Because I'm going to find them. I'm going to fix them. I'm going to love them. And you can bet your sweet ass that I'm going to have a hell of a time driving the shit out of them. I am the Ford aficionado. And welcome to my channel. White Lightning. My Maverick. Daisy. Big Red the Bronco. Blue. Frankie. And last but not least, the Jeep Commander, otherwise known as my little red wagon. Good afternoon, guys. Welcome back. Ford Aficionado's back at it once again. And got a little update coming up. Something I'm getting ready to do. I'm getting ready to move a few things around. Daisy here. I'm getting ready to move her. I'm getting ready to move the White Lightning. And I got a feeling, and I'm planning on pulling the Maverick out of the shed. Because what I'm wanting to do is, I want to move, okay, so I got to back Daisy down the hill. I'm going to pull White Lightning. My plans anyway. I want to pull White Lightning down the hill over to the other side over there to the house over there. And then once I get White Lightning out of the way, I want to pull Daisy back up and back her in right here where White Lightning's sitting. So the bed of it is going to be sitting right here in this open tree line right here. There's plenty of room. As you can see, spare one of my wheels here, my spare wheels here for Blue, which I don't need a spare anymore. I had originally bought it for this, but because it's not the same design, wheel design, I'm not going to use it. But I am gonna put it over here. Damn you, cunt. Over here, out of the way. So, like I said, I'm gonna move White Lightning and Daisy around and maybe pull the Maverick out of the shed. Now, if y'all notice, there's something that's here that was here that's not here anymore. You can tell by the spot right here. Remember that big set of wheels, that set of 18s I had that I got from my buddy a long time ago, the 275, 65, 18 set of Ford 6-lug wheels and tires with a full-size spare? Well, I finally let them go the other day. $30. And you know, I didn't really have any use for them because I only had one 6-lug vehicle here to my dad's Expedition, and his has got 17s on it, 265, 70, 17 6-lugs. I said, you know what, I'm not going to go through the trouble of taking those wheels, swapping the tire, buying new tires for a set of used wheels that I didn't really need. And then, because my dad's truck's already got a new set of tires, I put a new set of tires on it not long ago, about 2 years ago. And so I'm not going to waste my money. And the tires were one size bigger, so I wasn't about to buy a whole brand new set of tires. So I said, you know what? They've been sitting there about 3 years, and I never did anything with them, so I finally, let them go. Now, I originally had them for like $150, because the wheels alone were worth more than that. And so, couldn't get no hits on them, So I said, I put them online the other day, 50 bucks. Come get them. I need them out of the yard. So I finally had a guy hit me up. He said, you want 50 for all of them? What size? I said, they're 18s. He said, 20? I said, no, 18, 275, 65, 18. Just need new tires. All the wheels are in pretty decent shape, including full-size spare. And so he said, I'm coming from Charlotte. So, take me about an hour and a half to get here. I said, I'll tell you what. Because he paused. And it was about an hour before he wrote me back. So I texted him. I said, I tell you what, if you're interested, you come get them tonight. You can have them for 30. I just really want to get rid of them. So he came and got them. And I met him in town. And so they're gone. 30 bucks. Money in my pocket. Somebody's getting some use out of those wheels now, hopefully. And, but yeah, anyway. I want to move White Lightning. I got to back Daisy down the hill. Pull White Lightning out. Then bring Daisy back up the hill. Turn her around and back her right in here where White Lightning is now. Because this truck, I've already got the tag for it. And believe it or not, I took that video down that I posted about this thing the other day. I took it down because of, buddy of mine said I was incriminating myself because I already had the tag for it. And I'm not lying, I do have the tag for it. And it is current, well, actually, okay, so here's what happened with the tag situation. The tag that was on Frankie is now on my dad's 2010 Expedition. But I had I couldn't register the tag to his Expedition because the issue we had with the title. So I said, you know what? I got the title for this. Went and got a tag for this. The tag transferred from Frankie to this truck. And the title finally sent over to my name. And so the tag is actually registered to this truck that's on my dad's Expedition. So, and I gotta pay the taxes on that, by the way. It'll probably be the 9th when I get paid again, because I just had another few things I had to take care of. But anyway, I have the tag for this truck. No insurance on it yet, but then again, it's under restoration. So, I said, I gotta put the intake on. And 4 new catalytic converters. I'm Southern, so I say Cadillac converters. Because that's the way it's always been said. My family. And 2 new tires on the front. I think I'm going to go ahead and just put 4 new tires on it. Because y'all seen these tires 100 times. Once again, the passenger front tire. First week of 2001, so we're talking 24 years old now. Okay? Passenger rear. Now, this is one I replaced about 5 years ago. And where are you at? Right there. You are 20th week of 2020. So this one's about 5 years, a little over 5 years old now. And while it's not even got, these tires ain't even got, this one doesn't have, both the back ones I should say, doesn't even have, 20, 25, 30,000 miles on them. And, like I said, they still got plenty of tread, but they are starting to get cracked. And so both the back tires were replaced at the same time in 2020. Firestone Destination LA3. Where are you at? 2919. So this tire is actually about a year older than that other the passenger rear tire. The driver rear tire is a little bit older than the passenger rear. So, but if you start, I was noticing it the other day looking at it. You look closely. You can kind of see it's starting to crack. See right there, tire's starting to get old and crack. It is, you know, 6 years old now. So, and then the driver front, of course, 2503. So we're talking 22 years old with this tire. So, might as well just say 4 new tires, about $400. Okay, to put this thing back on the road. New set of tires, about $400, not including installation or road hazard. Insurance is probably about $100. Like I said, I already got the tag. And the 4 new converters are going to cost me, I don't know, maybe another $500, roughly. I might can go online to the dealership and get them, but a Ford dealership and get them because I want the exact ones. And then a small fee to have them welded back on, because the front can be, the front bolts onto the front of the assembly bolts onto the exhaust manifold on each side, so that's not a problem. I just need them welded about midway where they meet. So that's not the problem. But might as well say $1,000. This thing will be back on the road because it's in such great shape. And you know, all the lights work. And I want to find a body shop to fix this door right there, because it pushed it in to the driver's door, and now I can't open the back door without opening the front door first because it's pushed against it. And so I want to get that taken care of. But so I want to get it moved to over there to the house, so I can at least start working on cleaning it up. I mean, it's clean because I just washed it like a month ago, but wash it again, you know. And I did back it into the tree right here. There's a dent right there and some paint missing. I did back it into the tree right there, like a couple months after I got it, and so that's why it looks like that. Because there was no, like I said, I told y'all the story, no power. It would not accelerate because the intake gaskets were so shot. I could crank it up, put it in gear, give it gas, and it would just pop, 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 and then die. But yeah. So back Daisy down the hill, pull White Lightning out and down the hill. Plotting on pulling the Maverick out of the shed, but I'm kind of debating on that because every time I have this one person interested in this car so bad that he actually gets on my nerves. And who am I talking about? Well, before I had it in the shed, I had it sitting on the other side of Daisy over there. And the guy who's seen this car about probably like 11 or 12 years ago, my papa was still alive. It was down there in the backyard at my grandma's house. And so the guy stops by and he was like, luckily my grandpa was home, otherwise I wouldn't have this car right now. Anyway, my grandma and grandpa were home, and the guy stops by, he sees it in the backyard, and he goes, "Hey, you been interested in selling that Maverick?" My grandpa says, No. I'm gonna fix it up and restore it one day. He says, I'll give you $400 for it. Grandpa said, nah, ain't for sale. And I remember my grandmother told me one time, she said, when she told me that story, she said, if your papa hadn't been home that day, I'd have sold the hell out of that damn car. I would have. I'd have took that $400. She said, and I told you, Papa, I said, you ain't going to do nothing with that car, Clifford. He said, yeah, I will. I'm going to fix it up. Well, as the story goes, he never got the chance and he passed away. before he could. But, so, if my pawpaw hadn't been home that day, this car probably wouldn't be here right now. So, and you know, that is a disgusting thing. It is a disgusting thing what people do for the sake of a lousy, stinking dollar. Like I tell everybody, I don't need money to be happy. Look, I'll put it this way. I can be flat broke. And I'm as happy as I can be when I'm flat broke. When I have money, I'm technically miserable. That's why I'm glad I'm not a millionaire. Now, there are pros and cons to being a millionaire. You know, if I had, you know, a couple $100,000, I would spend it. Yes, I would. I'd be grateful to have it for the simple fact that there's some things I want to do. I want to get all my cars fixed, all my trucks fixed up, get them all running, back on the road. I want to have my grandma's house done over. New back porch, new front porch, new boxing, new bathroom, new kitchen floor. I want to have a bunch of these trees taken down in the yard. And I would buy me I'd buy me another building to put up here. I'd probably tear this one down and have a new one put in place of it, and actually have it built the way I want to have it built, because I need a shed with roll-up doors, and you know, I want it longer than this one, and of course wider than this one. Now I can't do that per se because this truck in the way right here. This old my old box truck, and it's in the way. And you know, we had thought about at one point cleaning it out and just hauling it off to the salvage yard, but everything that's in it, we don't have a place for it. For the simple fact that our one storage building is, you know, kind of packed right now. But, you know, I can honestly say, granted, this was my grandpa's truck, and I don't think I could ever let it go. But if I could find somebody to come and move it to a different spot in the yard, I probably would. In all honesty, I actually had a dream not too long ago that I had this truck moved. I had it completely cleaned out, and I had it moved. And I had it moved from where it's at right now, right behind the shed. I had it backed out, and I had it put long ways with the front end facing into the wood line, right here in this area right here. And that was a pretty cool dream. But, you know, if y'all remember, this truck, it does not have a front end on it. It doesn't have a front axle or a front end under a motor transmission, all gone. My it's kind of hard to see, but you know, anyway, y'all seen it in the last videos. Anyway, they wouldn't sell it to my pawpaw with a motor and transmission, so they, you know, took the motor and transmission out and cut the front axle out of it, and so he bought it as is, you know, for storage. And it's got all my grandma's Christmas decorations, some of my Christmas decorations, a bunch of other things. A bunch of my mom's china, things like that in it. But truth be told, if I could have it moved around in the yard to a different spot, I would. And then I'd have, like I said, if I had a couple $100,000, as much as it would hurt, I would have this shed torn down and a brand new one rebuilt, all metal, with roll-up doors, probably at least 3 doors, and 2 car lengths on each, you know, long, I should say. 3 bays wide and at least 2 cars deep, long, I should say. Because then what I would do is once I get the Maverick fixed up, I'd bring them all back up here and I'd park them in the shed, you know, one behind the other, and then roll up doors. Nobody sees anything. Then I can come out here and roll them up and look at them and do whatever I want whenever I want to. But that was one of my dreams, to have a new shed built. I cut some of these trees down. You can see them laying there. And one of them, when I cut it down, I was trying to get it to go that way, and it turned and went this way and hit my truck. Luckily, no damage was done. But anyway, so yeah, that's the plan, guys. That's the original plan. Back Daisy out of the way, down the hill, pull White Lightning out to about, there. Pull Daisy back up the hill, back her in, right where White Lightning's sitting. And I just might pull the Maverick out of the shed and put it right here. Just might when it's all said and done. Ain't decided yet because I'm trying to keep it out of the weather. I'm getting ready to order new floor pans, as y'all all know. One of them's out of stock for the one side, but the other side is in stock. But yeah, and finding somebody to cut the old stuff out and put the new stuff in. But once I get the floor pans out, hell, then I can pull it out and pull it up over to the house. And then I can put the starter on it, put the water pump on it, and get it running. Time it up, new distributor, and get it all going again. Now, y'all believe it or not, I just saw a black snake up here a while ago, laying right there by that piece of cement block. I was coming through here and I said, whoa, 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 whoa. I honestly thought he was dead because my dog stepped right on him. And he never moved. I said, damn, is he dead? I said, no. Another one of my dogs come up there and stepped right on him. And he shot back up underneath the camper. But anyway, I'm going to get Blue fired up. Either today or, next week when I'm planning to do this. And get Blue fired up and get him up there on the hill. And get him in position. Start moving things. And, so yeah, that's the plan, guys. Get the White Lightning out of its grave. And it's not really even a grave because it's not, sunk in the ground. It's just been sitting. But anyway, get White Lightning over here to the backyard. And believe it or not, I got plans. I want to put it where Blue's sitting now. And then, I can actually do what I need to do, because I get tired of carrying my tools all the way across the yard to the other side of my property. But anyway, that's the plan coming up. More updates soon, and I'll see y'all on the next one. It's the Florida Aficionado out.